Broadcasting live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio inside the Gas South Convention Center in Duluth, Georgia, it's time for Gwinnett Business Radio. Gwinnett Business Radio is presented by Regions Bank, Brave the Beginning, member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
And greetings and salutations, everybody. It is your slightly annoying host, Stephen Julian, here for another hopefully award-winning edition of Gwinnett Business Radio. I always am hopeful that it's going to be an award-winning edition when that fantastic voice brings us in. It's always nice when Dan starts the show. Speaking of starting the show, we have two great guests, and we've got to get to them. But before we do, I've got to bring in the other star of the show, the real star of the show, my co-host, Harper LaBelle.
No, I'm not the real star of the show. I'm
the star
like
of the show,
fake
the host,
star,
or the guest.
You're the star.
No, it's the guest.
You're
it's
the
always
one.
the guest.
You're the one who says greetings and salutations every week.
That's a shout out to my
mom. I don't
mom.
even get to say that.
She taught me right.
Really?
Yeah, she would always say greetings and
now,
salutations.
when she ended a letter, what it would be, love or sincerely or respectfully?
Sincerely yours.
Sincerely yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sincerely yours. It was usually how
she would do that to you on like a happy birthday, sincerely yours, or she'd write love mom.
I don't know.
Come on.
Yeah, love.
Come on, mom.
Love mom.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But she started with the greetings and salutations.
She taught sixth grade for over 30 years. And she would usually start each morning with greetings and salutations, children.
Sixth graders know everything, don't they?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
She said she loved working with them because they were right on the cusp of being able to think for themselves, but not quite there yet. So,
the sophomore is the wise fool, but I would think a sixth grader is pretty wise in their mind only.
These are 2 minutes that our listeners will
never get those back, folks.
What they will get back is a great deal from Subaru. I believe you want to talk about that.
Yeah, the Gas South District and the palatial studios that we have here are so grateful for Subaru of Gwinnett. And love is what makes a Subaru a Subaru. You can enjoy the hassle-free savings and the experience of a Subaru at Subaru of Gwinnett, where people sell cars. SubaruofGwinnett.com. You can go there and join their family today, or you can come on in at 2950 Satellite Boulevard in Duluth. Their sales desk is at 470-824-3860. The Impreza, the Legacy, the Forester, and the traditional Outback are all available for you. The 2024s are on the lot now. So we are so grateful that they are sponsors here at the Gas South District Show.
We have two fantastic guests here in the Subaru of Gwinnett studios inside the Gas South Convention Center. I loved how you saved me on that because I forgot to do that at the beginning. We have Adam Hollander. He is here with iFOAM of Northeast Atlanta, and we have Veronica Jackson. She is the general manager of Holbrook Sugar Hill. So we are going to start with Adam Hollander from iFOAM of Northeast Atlanta. Not iPhone, iFOAM. I was worried I was going to do that. Already did it the first time. Adam, welcome to the studio.
Wait, so I don't get a good deal on my communication?
No, you're going to get a
this?
great deal of protecting your home and keeping it cool and warm, depending on the season.
What I say is iFOAM with an M.
There you go. iFOAM with an M.
iPhone with an M. That's a bigger title. Is that harder to say in a website?
People think it's
iPhone with an M.com.
iFOAM insulation.
So, Adam, iFOAM, tell everybody about what you guys do.
Yeah, absolutely. We're a U.S.-based franchise. We specialize in residential and commercial services. What we do is spray foam insulation, and also we provide the best in the industry blown-in insulation services, insulation removal, retrofitting, and other specialty project services.
So you guys handle a lot of insulation, kind of insulating homes in all different regions of the country. Specifically, you're working here in Northeast Atlanta. iFOAM is a franchise. You chose that franchise. Is there something with iFOAM's kind of core values or something specifically about them that made you kind of choose them over working with other companies?
Yeah, absolutely. Our owner, Chris Cox, he saw an issue with the industry. There's definitely a lack of quality and trustworthy services, and a clear absence of certified training and taking care of customers. So what we do, our core values, we believe in purpose, transforming the industry one spray at a time, intellectual capital, investing in people, so we do it right, winning ego, practice to learn and play to win. We have a backbone. We challenge the status quo, which is the other contractors who don't do a good job to take care of customers, and execution. We aim for perfection and settle for excellence. When
it comes to people's insulation, I think it's something that people don't spend a lot of time thinking about, right?
Correct.
It's just kind of, it's there. I'm sure I have insulation. I don't know when the last time was I looked at it or anything like that. What are some of the services that iFOAM provides? And I guess this would probably be a good time to talk about the different types of insulation, because I think you guys kind of run the gamut and cover almost any type of insulation somebody would want.
Absolutely. Insulation is absolutely one of the most neglected things, but one of the most important things in a house. A lot of people focus on window replacements, but generally you lose about 60% of air loss through your roof. So with that being said, we specialize in spray foam insulation for attic rafters. In your attic, rather than having insulation on the ground floor, we spray the attic rafter. So it moves up the building envelope to encapsulate the whole area. The bottom line, what that does, it regulates the temperature of the house. So what that means for everybody, you save on your energy bill, makes it more comfortable. You're not going to be using 2 blankets in the wintertime and 2 fans in the summertime. Very, very, very important.
Yeah, I guess here in Georgia. Now, this is new construction, or do you also do, if somebody says, my existing home, it's either too hot or too cold, and I'm considering a change, would they call you?
Yeah, absolutely. We do residential retrofit. We do new construction, new homes. We do commercial, industrial, and even agricultural for those silos that actually have corn in it. A lot of people want those to be insulated.
Stephen's corn maze needs an extra silo. I know
Yeah.
this is the time of the year for that.
I did make it through the maze.
So if I were to do my home and say, it's either too hot or too cold, and I'm not very happy, and they would find out from you, hey, you're under-insulated.
Yes.
Would you do walls too? And does that include having to take all the walls out? Or can you spray in an existing crevice? I would imagine that the technology would allow for some of that, cost effective, of course, or is it strictly in the attic?
That's a very good question. For new construction, we could spray everything. For basements that are unfinished, we could spray everything. We don't do injectable foam, so if you have a current wall with drywall, we just ask that you remove that, then we could spray that. There are downfalls to injectable foam at the moment.
Yeah.
But anyhow, though, we do the whole gamut of insulation services.
What R level do you think would be optimal, again, for a Georgia-based? It might be different here than it would be, let's say, in Winnipeg or in Jamaica. But what is your expertise been sharing with you about the best way to properly, at the beginning of a construction? What would you recommend?
So basically, we go according to building codes. Building codes actually has the correct R value and insulation value. That's very important to us to make sure we're doing it the right way. So we follow all the building codes. Walls have a different insulation value than attics and floors and all that. The major thing, we could go into building code. There's probably not enough time to go into that. But the major point is we follow everything to the T. There's open cell and closed cell. We're in open cell spray foam and closed cell spray foam. Closed cell is generally for the north, open cell is generally for the south, and basically it's 5.5 inches thick, has an R value of about 13 or so.
Okay.
We're speaking with Adam Hollander. He is with iFOAM of Northeast Atlanta, iFOAM with an M. So you talked a little bit about spray foam. And we talked about how you can do the traditional fiberglass. You can do some of the older methods, but spray foam, why should someone consider, especially here in Northeast Atlanta, why should someone consider using spray foam?
That's a very good question. It's the latest thing. It serves as a barrier by sealing spaces and enhancing energy efficiency. So what it boils down to make a long story short, it blocks out the air. Your current insulation that you have, your fiberglass, your cellulose, it's good for thermal efficiency and energy efficiency, but it will not stop air. So right now, imagine the hot air or the cold air coming through your roof, coming down through your attic floor, going through there with your current insulation. Doesn't matter how thick it is. What the benefit of spray foam is, it actually forms a barrier up on your attic roof line. So the 100-degree temperature is not going to be coming in your house. So that's where you save all the money on your energy bill.
Well, do me a small favor. This is personal. Still, Stephen's going to look at me like, oh, Harper. Last Christmas.
So we're actually what we're doing is we're getting into the story of Harper. So this is like Harper's story
one of my
time.
stories. There's a few of them.
Oh, I know.
I've got a couple.
I know.
Last Christmas, it was 8 degrees. I had 2 pipes that broke, and water and insulation and all that. It gets wet. Tell me what the and I had to replace it, and it was the pink stuff.
Sure.
You're wearing a pink shirt here
It's
today.
fiberglass. It's fiberglass.
I know. Well, I'm just saying. They used to have a big deal about how they would
I'm sorry.
advertise.
I know where he's going with that. Yeah.
But when it gets wet, it's terrible. Tell me what happens. What are the worst things that might be able to happen with the foam?
So in terms of a leak, I just want to get clarification. In terms of if there's a leak,
Yeah,
Are you asking what could go wrong with foam?
Yes, that's exactly.
so
what
if there is a leak, the advantage of having open cell over closed cell, open cell is recommended for Georgia. It saves dollars, but also you'll be able to see that it's more porous. You can poke your finger into that, and if there's a leak, you're going to be able to see the leak. So if there is a leak, having spray foam open cell, you'll be able to see that.
And the spray, when it dries, it hardens to the point where it would not have to be replaced because of water.
It's going to be a lifetime solution. So basically, there's two canisters. There's an ISO and a poly liquid. When it's applied, it goes into a reactor, kind of like Back to the Future. And then when it's applied, it forms a solid and it expands.
Flex capacitor involved with this?
Yeah, it's similar.
88 miles per hour.
It's similar,
Yeah.
and it expands up to 5.5 inches thick.
Okay.
Which is pretty neat. That's how you're going to save on your energy bill and be much more comfortable in
You'll
the winter
save
and summertime.
1.21 gigawatts off your energy bill. I like this.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask, so first of all, if anyone is using some of the older stuff, they should absolutely consider maybe upgrading to the iFOAM.
Absolutely.
And then the second question I was going to ask is there, you kind of said lifetime. And I think one of the reasons why insulation is one of those things people think about so little is because once it's kind of in, most people are like, unless it gets flooded or something happens, they're like, it's up there, it's fine. How often should you have it looked at or serviced or just kind of talk through the life of insulation and I guess use it to talk a little bit about this. You mentioned the word lifetime, so kind of talk about why foam, again, might be better because it lasts longer.
Sure. Current insulation, it deteriorates over time. A lot of folks have cellulose that degrades over time, and then that hurts the air quality of the house. And same thing with fiberglass. Fiberglass, normally when it's built, it's like maybe 8 inches thick, but over time it deteriorates and spreads out. So the advantage of spray foam, it's going to be a long-lasting lifetime solution. The difference between us and everybody else is our technology, is our equipment. We invest very, very heavily in our spray rigs, the neatest things in the world. I should have brought one and parked one outside. But anyhow, though, the two canisters go into the flux capacitor, the reactor. You call it the flux capacitor.
I love it.
And it goes in a hose, and it goes up to the attic or wherever it's at, and it comes out as a liquid, and then it turns into there's a chemical reaction, and it turns into a solid there. The key is the technology. The key is installation. We have Jackson and Trey, two of the best installers I've ever seen. I've been in the business 30 years, home improvement. These guys are the real deal.
Yeah, let's
Absolutely.
So when you, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, I've seen similar products, maybe not the exact same as iFOAM, and when they spray it, there's a certain pattern that a guy would have, and they fly through the house. It's just or through the attic. It's amazing when they do it right. And you've got two. Are you looking for others? I mean, as you grow, will you always be looking for what type of employee? You mentioned willingness to learn, but never accept anything less than winning. I know there's some certain qualities and traits that you're looking for.
We're really big into culture, company culture. Have execution, have a backbone, and being able to service customers to the best of the ability to how we wanted. Basically, white glove customer service. That's what we treat every customer with, and that's what we want any new employee to exhibit.
So is the goal of iFOAM, if I call you and have you come out and service my house and replace what I've got with this iFOAM, the idea is that's going to last forever or for a long time.
It's going to last a long time.
Lot longer than
you.
current. Yeah,
It'll last longer.
That
should be their
gonna
motto. It's going to last longer than you.
Yeah, longer than current stuff. So let me just ask real quick for people listening, like, yeah, I can't remember the last time I looked at my insulation. Do you guys do a free consultation visit? Kind of walk us through the process of working with iFOAM.
That's another difference between us and other people. We go out, we evaluate. We have the latest technology. We put a heat gun up there to measure the temperature. We do a air quality temperature, moisture level to make sure that it absolutely is a good fit. If it's not a good fit, we'll go ahead and tell people. There was a customer that had squirrels in the attic, and they had to get those removed first.
I've had squirrels in the attic.
Yeah, we can't install inside. We're not
They
installing.
love nesting in the fiberglass.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
so much in the iFOAM. I would
I
imagine.
bet they do.
We had another customer that had a leak. We will not replace it until that's taken care of. That tells you a little bit about us.
So
Is our
instead of
integrity.
just
Instead of just spraying over it.
Yeah, Exactly.
If we notice stuff, we're going to let the customer know, and that's a big differentiator.
It's huge
with
yeah.
us.
So I think there's nothing left to say except anybody who hasn't had their insulation looked at in a while or is doing new construction, they need to call iFOAM of Northeast Atlanta. So how do people get in contact with you?
Yeah, absolutely. They can give us a call at 678-902-7817. And for those folks that give us a call and mention Business Radio X, we have a $750 promotion for all those folks. It's a huge, huge savings. Again, call 678-902-7817 and mention Business Radio X for that huge promotion.
And they can go to, there's a website, I assume, that can kind of see before and after pictures. It's iFOAM.com, and then just like
Northeast Atlanta.
Yeah, Northeast-Atlanta-Georgia. So, check out iFOAM.com and call that number. And, yeah, Harper, we're saving people money. Well, actually, it's Adam who's saving people money. But we'll take credit because we're the slightly annoying host.
And one last thing, insulation is eligible for a tax credit this year. So save dollars on your energy bill, make your house more livable, no hot and cold spots, and insulation is eligible for a tax credit this year. It's the real deal.
So you get $750 off by mentioning Business Radio X, and you get a tax credit. By the way, tax credit, that's money in your pocket that you don't give to the government.
Yeah, you know a little bit more about that.
I know a little bit more. When someone says credit, that's a huge deal. Yes.
Not less tax credits.
Amen to that, brother.
More.
Adam, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be right back right after this commercial break.
Life is full of ifs. But if you want to cash flow like a pro and get paid up to 2 days early, safeguard against surprises and supercharge your savings, Regions Life Banking makes it possible.
Regions Bank, embrace the if in life.
Regions Bank, member FDIC.
For the first time ever, the Atlanta Gladiators podcast will now be on Business Radio X. Be on the lookout for new interviews each week as Director of Broadcasting and Communications Liam Godimer chats with Gladiator players, coaches, and even representatives from corporate partners. For tickets, partnerships, and more, visit atlantagladiators.com or call our front office at 770-497-5100 to chat with a Gladiator representative today. Atlanta Gladiators Hockey, draw your sword.
Welcome back to the Subaru of Gwinnett Studios inside the beautiful Gas South Convention Center. It is Gwinnett Business Radio, brought to you by Regions Bank. And guess what, Harper?
What?
Mike is with us.
No way.
The great,
Stop
the
it.
incomparable, the irreparable, I don't know if that's the right word. Mike Salmond is here. You've got something to tell everybody.
Yeah, thank you for letting me break in. I've got a breaking announcement, not breaking news, but a breaking announcement. We want to support our community.
Do we need our
Breaking announcement.
news music?
Yeah,
Steven, thank you, guys. Upcoming, the 2023 Holiday Festival and Parade. It's brought to you by the Beaufort Business Alliance, and we want to promote this because it's a big deal here in our community up the road in Beaufort. Saturday, December 2nd, 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock. The parade's going to start at the Tannery Row Ale House.
Good for you to say that.
Yeah, well done. Glad you said it, not me.
Usually that's how I say it after I've been there for a while. And it goes to Hill Street, so it's going to be from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. is the parade. And then the festival and stage performers and all the fun stuff continues after that, going till about 2 o'clock that afternoon. You can come and get your Christmas shopping done. You can get your photos with Santa. I mean, Harper, you'd love to be on Santa's lap and tell him what you want for Christmas.
I have a long list this year.
Yes, so the Beaufort Holiday Festival and Parade. Mark your calendars, folks. Saturday, December 2nd, 9 o'clock in the morning, goes until 2 o'clock that afternoon. If you want to be a vendor and be part of it that way, if you want to be in the parade, I mean, lots of great ways you can be involved. Email BeaufortBusinessAlliance@gmail.com. BeaufortBusinessAlliance@gmail.com. Please be a part of the Holiday Festival and Parade in Beaufort, Saturday, December 2nd.
Great thing to bring your family to if you're a business owner. Great thing to promote your business at the Holiday Festival and Parade. Well done. Thank you, Mike.
Now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Yes. All right. Speaking of regularly scheduled, we have a fantastic guest here today, Veronica Jackson. She is the general manager of Holbrook Sugar Hill. Veronica, welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. So, Holbrook Sugar Hill, tell us about what you guys do there.
Oh, man, I tell you, there's a lot to tell, but just to kind of put it all in one spot, Holbrook Sugar Hill is the newest of the Holbrook communities in the greater Atlanta area. We opened in 2022. We are Gwinnett County's boutique assisted living and memory care, if you will. We are located in the heart of the up-and-coming downtown Sugar Hill of Georgia on 5135 West Broad Street. We provide assisted living as well as a well-secured and beautiful memory care neighborhood for those who are dealing with dementia and Alzheimer's.
So I'm going to jump on the first word that kind of jumped out in your description is boutique.
Yes.
So what makes an assisted living and memory care center more of a boutique than maybe some of its competitors?
Great question. So when you're thinking about a typical assisted living, you're coming in, you're looking to maybe see a living room area, perhaps an activity room, and then some living spaces are down the hallway, and just kind of your typical assisted living. So we want to take a very unique approach to what that looks like when you walk into our community. That boutique, you're coming in, it's beautiful, it's warm, it's cozy, but you see a lot of upscale features. Beyond those upscale features, we also have a lot of amenities that we offer our seniors that, you just don't typically see. So you're walking into a bistro where you're looking at fresh baked goods, the coffee machine, you've got television, you got the fish aquarium, and you could actually even find a beer keg. We got the Yingling and the Michelob Ultra hanging out.
Well, Mike's already been there, so that's good.
And
you said it was warm, so I'm sure the insulation is absolutely fantastic.
The insulation is top of the line.
Right.
You better know it. Our dining area, you don't just walk into a dining hall for seniors to have their meals. It is actually a restaurant. It's called our Thistle and Oak Restaurant. It provides a beautiful space for our residents for that daily dining, but we also have it available to the public to rent space there. Can you imagine coming to Holbrook to rent space?
Interacting with the community that isn't necessarily the community living there.
Absolutely top on the line.
Nice.
You can go upstairs. You'll see our theater room where you can enjoy a movie and popcorn. You can go to our area where you can see poker table, pool table. Great place for some weekend football watching. Full kitchen where our residents can actually go in there and cook. If you're used to baking at home, we have a spot for you there. And then our large apartments, man, it doesn't look like your typical kind of bathroom, bedroom, assisted living. It is well appointed, beautiful kitchenettes, stainless steel furnitures, anywhere from studios to 2-bedroom apartments. We also offer salon, concierge transportation. If you want to just go out on the town for the night, we actually have a concierge transportation service that can take you there beyond the typical van that can take you to and from your doctor's appointments. The list goes on. Here's a beautiful feature of Holbrook Sugar Hill. Water filtration system throughout the community. So everything from the water that comes from the showers to the water that you drink is top of the line water filtration. We have UV lighting as well as the negative ion emissions to help to purify the air that we breathe. That helps to reduce the viral content in the air. And again, when you're talking about seniors, you want to protect their immune system. So our chair, Al Holbrook, really has a great handle on and focus on health and wellness. So those are some of the things that that set us apart.
I think it might have been quicker if I had said, what don't you guys have?
Exactly. I'm telling you, we could be here all day.
Veronica, to your credit, I would imagine there are other facilities out there that you say, I really like that they have this, and they need that. Mm-hmm. But you've already said, no, we're going to this is amazing that what you've planned in ahead, or at least seen in other facilities. How did that all come about? And I know that Sugar Hill has grown exponentially in the last few years. Being able to take advantage of a prime location and being where you are and being able to offer a specific site for seniors, the vision there, again, Mr. Holbrook has really thought things out. What an awesome accomplishment, and for you to be a part of that each and every day. What are some of the things that you love most about the facility and what it's able to offer?
Well, I'll tell you, my background, I am a registered nurse of over 33 years. And
God bless you for that. Wow.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you very much. And I've practiced in healthcare from the Northeast, Connecticut, New York, back south. And so I've seen a lot. I've also been in assisted living for the last 10 years.
Now, do you say
particularly.
"yous guys" or do you say "y'all" now?
Well,
Which
I'm
one
in
is
the
it?
middle. I'm an
Okay.
Alabama girl with 20 years in New York, so
you ends is
depending on my
Y'allins.
day,
Y'allins,
I
yeah.
could go y'all or you. They'll catch me.
Depends
They'll
on your
catch me.
mood, I guess.
Yeah,
more than anything.
exactly.
All right, go
That's
ahead.
what my kids say. But so I've seen a lot. And then the last 10 years, particularly here in Georgia, I've seen what is impacted in assisted living. And what I enjoy most about being a part of the Holbrook team is that forward thinking. We're not retroactive, which is what we as a society have a tendency to be. Let's see what happens. Now let's put something in place. Let's anticipate. Let's, as we say, inspire wonder. Let's think about what that senior could want and let's put it in place. So I really love that philosophy.
We're speaking with Veronica Jackson. She is the general manager of Holbrook at Sugar Hill. In your description, you kind of talked about all the stuff inside the facility. The one question I wanted to ask is if anyone's driven by or seen this go up and see this open, I was wondering, because clearly one of the strategic decisions was to put this facility so close to the interactive community of downtown Sugar Hill. So talk a little bit about how your residents can just walk out from the facility and go straight to all the stuff that's at Sugar Hill. How readily accessible is that? How easy is it for them to get from the facility just to the downtown area and back again?
All very well thought out, even from the location to the sidewalk appointment going right to downtown. I've actually walked it. Our residents take walks beyond our walking path on our property. They actually take walks right to downtown. We're talking about within 2 to 3 blocks.
Yeah.
And to beyond just the physical features, our partnerships in the community. We have the mayor of Sugar Hill that comes to our community once a month and interact. So our relationships with the city, with the community of Sugar Hill is right there along with just the actual physical access.
So you guys have the bistro in the facility, but they can go have, pizza. There's sandwich shops. There's all that stuff.
Breweries, absolutely.
And it's all within just literally,
Literally
2 blocks.
blocks.
It's like 25 yards.
Yes,
kind of
theater.
thing. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Right, the other theater. So they've got
Yes.
their theater there, but they got a bigger,
You got it.
maybe in some ways better theater. So can you tell us a story about maybe a current resident or two that who's living at Holbrook who you can kind of say, hey, I've seen their life change for the better since they've come to Holbrook?
Yes, and that also speaks to another very unique feature about Holbrook as a company, but particularly Holbrook Sugar Hill, that we are fortunate to be a faith-based company. Our staff benefits from working in a faith-based environment. We can support each other as well as our residents. So we have the other unique piece is that we have a lot of seniors that come to us not because they need care. I've often have seniors come to me and say, "Oh, I'm not ready for that just yet." We have seniors who literally, I don't want to live in my house anymore. I don't want to deal with house maintenance, upkeep, cooking, cleaning. I just want to go somewhere so that someone else can take care of that and I can enjoy life. So we have that, whereas we also have seniors who come to us with certain needs, and we have the well-appointed, trained staff to meet those needs while they can continue to enjoy their lives. And that's what's really most important, beginning a new life versus end of life, which is that old, the myth of assisted living. I'm coming here to just kind of close out life. Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, the traditional old folks' home that you would see or hear about I remember as a kid, that's what they don't do it anymore, but they did. They used to. Nowadays, there's so much to do that if you don't do anything, that's shame on you. It's kind of like going to Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
If you're full, or if you're still hungry when you're done, that's your fault, right?
Absolutely.
And I would imagine that's one of the rewards of your planning in advance. I can watch the game with my friends, or I could watch it. You still have choices, right?
Absolutely.
Even if you don't want to watch the game, just hang out and you got so many other things to do.
You're absolutely right. Just within this week, we're talking within the last 7 days, our seniors have gotten on our van and made a trip to the casino. We've had.
Hey, now.
Listen, we're about fun here.
Yeah.
I hope they tipped the driver on the way back, especially if they had a winning day.
Absolutely. They came back with some good loot, I tell you. I'm still trying to count the dollars. But then also we had, 20 23 vendors recently at a holiday bazaar right in our community. So in addition to our residents coming in to get their Christmas shopping done, their families came, the public came to do some shopping. Just yesterday, we had the Atlanta Flute Ensemble, 16-piece flute ensemble right in our community. So we're again bringing entertainment, we're bringing experiences right under our roof.
Yeah, Harper, you were talking about kind of the stigma, the old way of looking at the old folks' home from past generations, and if people still have anything remotely like that opinion, they don't have their eyes open. They haven't visited a place like Holbrook. I'm going to give a shameless plug that they're not affiliated with Holbrook, but if anybody wants to kind of learn about what a good senior living facility can be like, Mike Rowe's podcast, he does a show with his mother a couple times a month. It's called Coffee with My Mom. And she and her husband, they've been in an assisted living facility for the last 2 years. They constantly talk about their neighbors. They talk about what they're doing. They talk about how busy they are. It's just it's a shameless commercial for a good assisted living home like Holbrook at Sugar Hill. Yeah. So I think, and I was going to ask one kind of gotcha question, but it's not really a gotcha question because I know you got a great answer to it, and then kind of ask a second question on top of that. You talked about one of the things that kind of sets you guys apart is it is a faith-based company. Yes. I want to ask the obvious question that it doesn't have to be a resident, to be a potential resident. There is no faith-based requirement. Number one, correct. And then so there you go. You answer the question. So it's not a requirement. And then that leads to the second question of, besides people who want to enjoy life, who else do you know that can kind of benefit? Talk to that person who may be on the fence, or talk to that person who isn't sure, who else benefits? And maybe this is a chance to talk a little bit about the memory care center, because we've been talking about enjoying life so much, but let's talk to that part of the memory care center.
Yeah. Thank you so much for bringing that part into this, because again, the stigma, we want to get away from that. When we're talking about assisted living, again, think about your typical senior. They've perhaps lived in their homes for 30, 40 years. Their plan is to live and die in their home. Unfortunately, they do. Guess what? What comes with aging? Perhaps I can't get up those stairs anymore. I'm not interested in eating full meals again. So when you start to see those signs, they're still really trying to hold on to their independence. So unfortunately, what we see in our industry is that families, even seniors themselves, are waiting kind of to that last minute before considering assisted living. Again, that stigma of, I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not ready because I don't need help yet. So again, our typical population at Holbrook, we're talking about residents who don't need care. I have 16 couples in my community. That is unheard of in assisted living. But when you go to the other side of our memory care, when I first started at Holbrook, I didn't even realize I was in memory care when I walked in. I thought I was in assisted living. High ceilings, bright, beautiful windows, spacious. Every resident have their own apartment. You have art centers, a beautiful dining area in our memory care neighborhood. Just again, something you don't typically see. Beautiful outdoor space where they have water features, a garden area, walking path. This is only in our memory care neighborhood, where we call inspired living.
How many people would a capacity be for you, and are you in that area right now? In other words, if somebody was going, gosh, this sounds very interesting for mom and pop, and but it's full. Well, never mind. So tell us a little bit more about what your capacity is, how many apartments do you have, and what some of the options are that people would need to know about.
Sure. So with our memory care, we have 28 apartments, and we are literally about full there. Okay. That's our inspired living our neighborhood. And in our assisted living, or what we call enriched living neighborhood, we have 102 apartments. And again, that varies from studios to 2 bedrooms. So we do have opportunities there for anyone who's interested. But I tell you, you can reach out to us, an hour before. Hey, I'm just driving by. Can I come in for a tour? We absolutely welcome you to do that. We'll actually be able to talk to you about your needs. It's not all about what our physical features are. We really are so interested in what your needs are and see how we at Holbrook Sugar Hill can meet those needs.
And I know you're the general manager of the Holbrook at Sugar Hill. but Holbrook does have other facilities. How many
Yes.
facilities in the metro Atlanta area?
Well, we also have Holbrook Decatur.
Okay.
We have Dogwood Forest in Grayson, as well as in Woodstock and Ackworth, and of course, Holbrook Sugar Hill.
Yes. So there are people who listen who aren't just in Gwinnett County.
That's
so
right.
it's good to know they can go to one of the other Holbrook facilities.
That's
So
right.
for those people who want to find out more information, especially about the Holbrook Sugar Hill, and maybe learn about some of the other properties, what contact information would you
Well,
give?
first of all, you can go straight to our website, holbrooklife.com. Just from that website, depending on your location, you can do the drop down to what's closest to you. You can see video coverage, you can see testimonials, you can see all the great details of what we do offer, and of course, Sugar Hill. And if you'd like to give us a call, book a tour, you can give us a call at 470-589-2520. Again, 470-589-2520. 2520. We'd just love to talk to you.
Real quick, Veronica, you said you've been in the healthcare business for 33 years.
Yes,
is that
over-
right?
over 33, yeah.
Are you looking for anyone else? In other words, if there's other outstanding healthcare providers that are looking for work, do you have an
Yes.
ability to visit with them and find out if there's a good fit?
Well, healthcare, again, is a love of mine. Nurses first and foremost in my head. So absolutely, thank you for asking. Again, when you're looking at our core frontline team members, those are our care partners. Those are your CNAs, your care providers, and you're not just coming there for that job. You're coming there to establish and be a part of a team, a family, but also to grow professionally. That particular line of profession don't always get that when they're going to a home health environment or a hospital environment without having to go back to school for more training or a certificate or a degree. So you can come to us. So if you're interested as a CNA, that would be great. If you even want to be a part of our dining team, we're looking for chefs who want to kind of get out there and be creative. We have that environment to do that, again, where you're not so structured with menus and food options that we have to give our seniors. You can really come and create with us. So we're looking for those particularly.
Are you
So if you're
looking
grumpy,
for-
if you're grumpy like Mike or Dan, you can't. Don't go there.
I was going to ask if they were looking for slightly annoying podcast hosts.
Listen,
Yeah.
hey,
Do you
we're
know?
ready.
Do you know of any?
I know of
Steven?
one.
Really?
When
Very
I
well.
tell you,
in
we are
my
so
head.
innovative. Don't be surprised we don't come up with a Holbrook radio show.
Listen. I can give some references to their favorite TV shows and radio shows they used to listen to.
we're
I got
ready.
Jack Benny routines down pat. So
We are
Who's on first? You have that one.
Oh
down, too?
my! Hey, listen, my
I
son
bet you
Elijah
do.
and I can do that.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. He could do it all by himself. Anyway, Veronica Jackson, General Manager of Holbrook Sugar Hill. Thank you
Yes.
so much for being
Thank
here.
you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Want to remind everybody that Gwinnett Business Radio, this wonderful show with wonderful guests and whoever we are, is brought to you by Regions Bank. We all know that keeping your company's financial future on track means having the right resources to support your growth. Regions Commercial Banking offers you lending capabilities and strategic solutions tailored to your needs, and you'll work with a team of experienced bankers here in Gwinnett. Discover steps to take that can help move you closer to your business goals. Regions is here to help. To learn more, visit regions.com/commercial-banking. Don't forget the dash. Regions Bank.
Member.
FDIC. Hey, Harper, I just thought of. Oh, Dan with the bell. Dan with the introduction and the bell.
You went way off your own chart of enthusiasm for that last read.
Well, I've been gone.
Regent should be very happy.
I've
with
been
you.
gone a couple weeks, and I've
Yeah.
missed you guys, and it's so good to be back in the studio.
You
know
have
what
all this built up advertising stress.
You know what I love?
What do
with
you love?
Dan producing the show and you co-hosting with me. That means Mike is pacing back and forth because he is so scared and so concerned and so bothered by how long you and I could drag this epilogue out, postlude, as my dad would call it.
Are you feeling like a drag out?
Yeah,
right
do
here,
you want to
knockdown
show?
drag out?
Yeah, how you doing? I
yeah.
missed you, man.
I know it's been over a month since
It's
we
been
were
a
on the air
while.
together.
You were gone, and then I was gone, and now Mike's standing over our shoulders. So thankfully, I have former NFL player Harper LaBelle who will have my back. So we want to thank Mike for that great read in the middle and for giving us the studio. I want to thank Dan for producing. I want to thank our guest, Adam Hollander from iFOAM of Northeast Atlanta and Veronica Jackson of Holbrook Sugar Hill for Harper LaBelle. This is your slightly annoying host, Stephen Julian, saying we will catch you next time on Gwinnett Business Radio.